Alright, I think I got switches in position. Alright, got all the engines. Hello everyone that's just joined. I'm going to do a quick little stream tonight. Probably won't be very long. Can't be much more long than an hour, I imagine, because I got some model projects that I want to work on. But I thought it'd be fun to do one tonight, though, because I haven't done a model one in a while. Oh, hello, Dalton. Hello, Christian and Anfield. So you're finally relettering the old number 7 engine. What are you relettering that engine into? That's pretty interesting to have named passenger trains for your layout. That's a good idea. I just kind of run whatever. I don't really have a specific train for my layout. I just run different engines whenever. It's pretty cool that you have your own named passenger train for your layout, though. Chesapeake Western. Is that an actual locomotive? Does that have an actual prototype to it? Hello there, Ross. Fictional? Do you have a layout, Dalton? That you're because I can't remember. I've seen you had videos of number 7 running at a show, but I didn't know if you have a layout built for it to run on. And if anybody's wondering why I have 5 chimes equipped on these 440s, these have economy in them, and they only have like 2 single chime options on these economy decoders. And the 2 single chimes are just ear-gratingly high-pitched and annoying, and I couldn't take it anymore on both of them, so I changed them to the Nathan 5 chime, which is just a lot more pleasant to the ear, to me anyway. I always wanted to get one of those Spectrum K4s, but those won't work on my track, I don't think. I have really, really tight 18-inch radius curves on my layout, and the Rapido 460 was giving me issues on it as is, so I don't think a K4 could run on this, unfortunately. But those Spectrum K4s Bachman makes are just absolutely fantastic looking. Oh, I saw the Bachman has the American Freedom train set coming out. That looks really cool. If I had space for it, I'd buy it. I've always wanted one of those daylight locomotives. And again, like I said with the K4, though, it's not really realistic and happening because the track's radius is so small on this layout that I can't really run much any bigger than a 280 or 282. The Durango and Silverton 282 is pretty much pushing it. I'm shocked I had a 210 that could handle these curves, but that's because the I think there's like 3 blind drivers on that 210, which is why I can navigate the curves on this layout. Oh, 4x16 layout. That's sweet. Oh, the American Freedom Train 250. Isn't that a Reading locomotive? Reading? I always forget how to pronounce that railroad specifically, but I've seen they were working on it. I don't know if it's in functional condition yet, but it was cool seeing them work on it though. Oh, hey there, Red Oak. Hopefully the stream will still be up by the time you get done with that. Alco made some pretty sweet little diesels in the transition era. Those were pretty neat. F3s, I always liked those streamlined F units as well. Those EMDF units were really cool. I think that's kind of like a staple of American railroading. Like when people think of trains in the United States, they probably think of the 440 like that, or like the Santa Fe Super Chief with those F units. Those are pretty iconic too. And then maybe the Union Pacific Big Boy locomotive too. That one's become really iconic. I think that one's in West Chicago right now, actually, because I saw it on the news earlier today that they were stopped in West Chicago. Oh, I always hate when I have dead spots on my layout. Luckily, I got all of mine fixed. But, God, that's always so annoying. Track cleaning and dead spots and layouts are just the most annoying things to deal with. I used to have one spot on the layout, one of the sidings that's on the other side of the layout that used to just completely kill power to the track when an engine ran over it, and I had to deal with fixing that up. That was just a nightmare. Not sure if I'm still going to carry through with tearing out this easy track and replacing it. Getting kind of lazy with the layout at this point. I kind of want to redo some of the scenery, so the track might still get ripped out, but I'm not sure. I'm surprised the easy track has been as reliable as it has been so far. I might have seen the other American Freedom Train. You'd have to refresh my memory on what one that one is, though. I've seen the 250 though, and I've seen the that GS4, that Southern Pacific GS4 that they repainted into the Freedom Train as well. I can't believe I've never had these Central Pacific coaches before that Bachmann made. I've been always meaning to get them, and I finally got a sweet deal on eBay on a set of them. And they're really easy to change out the couplings on, too, on these older Bachmann cars. Here, let me move the camera to another spot so we can just see it in another area. How about here? Actually, I think this is a pretty good spot. If I speed up the train, I can have a camera that moves around and follows it. Let's move this. Oh, it looks like Dutch Vanderlyn fell over. Oops. I'll have to glue him again another time. Wonder if I can find a better spot. I have to find my tripod again. I got that lost somewhere. Then I can have the whole layout in one shot. This will have to do. Actually, we'll just follow it. It's a lot of fun working on these Bachmann 440s. It's crazy how much a little bit of work can really make these look so much better than how they look as is stock. I always love pacing these trains as they run down this stretch. Where did I put that stand? There we go. See if there's anything over here. I think I might run Rio Grande Southern 20. 119 back there I'm not running tonight because his wheels needs to be cleaned up again. Those Bachmann 440s don't get the absolute best of contacts for running. They like to cut out on power a lot as is. You have to keep on top of keeping their wheels clean or else they'll cut out even more on the tracks, which is annoying. chat is not very busy tonight. Am I missing chat messages, or is it just a quiet night in chat tonight? I can't really tell if my stream is bugged again or not. Oh well. We'll just keep running trains anyway, though. There we go. Ooh, I have something. I don't know if I have it up here. I ended up getting a Sierra Railway 3 tender, and I'm going to repaint that into the 70 Sierra 3 once I get around to it. Don't really think I have that up here to show, though. It's a bicentennial tender. Okay, so I didn't see that the chat updated. My chat like glitched out on me. Okay. Wow, I just missed a ton of chat and I didn't see it. Whoops. All right, sorry for everyone that I just realized I missed so many chats because the thing froze on my screen. I mostly have 19th century locomotives. Usually I have, I used to have a wider variety. I used to have like a bunch of transition era engines. I have, I think, 18 locomotives now, and of those 18, like 16 or 17 of them are from before 1910. So mostly 19th century stuff is what I run now. I got rid of all my modern stuff except for one Rio Grande diesel. Yeah, Red Oak, this is easy track. I think the styrofoam, I put a styrofoam base on this layout, definitely dampened the sound, and then I ballasted it too. I don't know if ballasting has any effect on sound for easy track, but that definitely helped it quite a bit. All right, hopefully the stream will still be going when you get back, Red Oak. Yeah, these 440s definitely are a staple of 19th century railroading. Actually, I have, and Randy, I have done a golden spike ceremony before. Andy, Bachman did make a baggage car. I don't know if you're still on the stream, but Bachman has made a full-on baggage car recently. I think this is the only one I have. It's in the Northern Central scheme to go with my York, but yeah, they may come for what I think I saw: Virginia and Truckee, Santa Fe, Pennsylvania, Baltimore and Ohio. I haven't seen Central Pacific or Union Pacific. They're like, I don't know why. It seems like their Central Pacific and Union Pacific stuff would sell a lot better because they have the Jupiter. The Jupiter and 119 models they have seem to sell really well. It's odd that they don't sell many cars for those two road names. I don't know why. They had two that came in a set, and they sold two more that were supposed to be add-ons, but that set came out 7 years ago now, so I don't know why they haven't just made a whole new wave of HO scale Central Pacific and Union Pacific coaches, but hopefully we'll get them soon, because I did mention that on a live stream to Matt from Bachman, and they acknowledged that that's a bit of an issue right now because they don't have a full range of cars for their Jupiter and 119 to pull, so hopefully that'll be fixed soon. Hello there, Lord Vader. Oh, yes, Lord Vader, I did. I haven't gotten around to emailing back, but that does look like an interesting project. It looks like the Red Dead 460 from the first game with that boiler and the drive wheels you're using. It's quite an interesting combination of parts you're using on that. It looked like you had the Tycho Mantua General, the Bachmann 440 old-time boiler, and then I couldn't really tell what the drivers were from, but that looks like it's going to be a really interesting 10-wheeler. Where's K4? I don't own a K4 at the moment, Christian. I probably never will, just because this is such a small layout, and it wouldn't run right on my 18-inch radius curbs, I imagine. And also, it would be too big of an engine for a small layout like this anyway. The largest engine I have is a Mikado, and that kind of even then looks a little bit goofy on a small layout like this, navigating 18-inch radius curves. But, you know, maybe that's, you know, not a definitive no. I might get one in the future if I ever have a bigger layout, but for the foreseeable future, for right now, I don't think I'll ever have a K4 or anything larger than a Mikado. I don't think they made a baggage car with the older style roof. These are the only baggage cars I ever saw them make with the rounded roofs. As far as I'm aware, I haven't seen them make anything with this style of roof on them. I could be wrong though, but I couldn't imagine it being too difficult to trade out the roofs if you wanted to have those older like 1860 style roofs on them. Yeah, I look forward to seeing that project when you finish it. Oh, and also, Lord Vader, I might have to send those that engine and cars that we're trading in 2 shipments in two boxes because I can't find a box that's gonna fit all those the engine and all those cars and everything in it. So you're probably gonna get 2 boxes in that trade. I'll let you know tomorrow because I'll try to ship it out tomorrow before I go to work. Yeah, that's super embarrassing. I did not know that the chat had froze. I just kind of stood there in like 5 minutes in silence because I thought the chat just got quiet and died off for a minute. I didn't realize it froze on me. Oops. Thanks, YouTube. And speaking of YouTube glitches, I went to comment on a Leviathan York post yesterday, and somehow the comment on his YouTube video ended up getting posted on Oregonian Railfan's post about his McLeod 25 that he has upgraded again, which if anybody here likes that locomotive or has heard of number 25, you should go check out Oregonian Railfan because he took a Tyco 262 and just totally rebuilt that thing into like the most beautiful rendition of McLeod 25 I've ever seen. It is beautiful. That sounds good, Lord Vader. There's no rush on your end to send that stuff. Maybe I should run that 060. Do you want to see that 060 I'm sending you in the trade running? I can pull Jupiter onto a siding if you want to see that switcher running. Because, like I said earlier in the stream, I'm kind of downsizing, getting rid of all my more modern steam engines. I think the most modern locomotives I'll have are the Mikado and the Bachmann 280. The rest of them are all old time now. I'm going back to just trying to stay with old time equipment. Okay, Red Oak. Hopefully the stream will still be going when you get back. I think I'm going to get that switcher running. If you're still on the live stream, Lord Vader, I'll get that switcher set up with some of those cars that I'm sending you to. Oh, okay. Let me know when you rejoin the stream, Lord Vader, and I'll run that Union Pacific switcher for you. Oh, I love ON30 narrow gauge. I love narrow gauge railroads in general. I used to do ON30. I think I still have a couple of small tables that a friend of mine gave me years ago that were an ON30. He did a fantastic job with them. And I just couldn't keep up with ON30 because of the space and also how expensive those engines are to get as well. Which isn't really saying much anymore though, because HO scale is getting pretty super expensive too at this point. Oh, that's cool. I think I've had model trains running while Red Dead Redemption 2 is idle on my PlayStation. So I would just have it on pause. I'd have it paused or in rest mode on my PlayStation 5. But I've never actually tried to do them both at once. I feel like there'd be a catastrophic train wreck on the layout, or I'd probably die in Red Dead Redemption 2 if I wasn't paying attention. With all the stuff that can kill you in that video game. Appalachian and Great Lakes. That's sweet. 30 locomotives. That's a lot of ON30 locomotives. Thank you, Jacob. What's your favorite ON30 locomotive? I really liked Bachmann's 440. Their older inside frame 440 was probably my favorite one they ever produced. But I also like their logging engines. Especially after they've been replaced with metal gears, because even the ON30 line of logging engines like the Shea and I think the Heisler or the Climax, one of the other two, had plastic faulty gears issues that they're just notorious for. I took a break from model railroading for what? 3 years or so, because I was super into it, and then when I graduated and started working, I stopped model railroading, and then when COVID hit, I had nothing better to do, so I got back into the hobby, and I'm glad to rejoin the hobby because it's just such a fun thing to do in my spare time. I love working on models and running the trains and all that. It's just so fun. Porters. Those Porters were nice engines. You can run those on some really, really tight radiuses. I've seen what are they called, pizza box layouts with Porters running on them. Those things are sweet. I think I used to have both. I remember I used to have the 040 and 042 variant of those Porters, and I love double heading those two together with like mining trains and logging trains. I think the only ON30 locomotive I have left is a Bachmann 260 that's in running condition. And then I have a Broadway Limited, was a C16 or C19, it's one of the two. 280 that was rebuilt into a 262 Prairie laying around somewhere too, but I don't think that one works anymore. They still have that janky old, what was it called? They used to have that old, outdated, it was even before Paragon, the sound system in those 280s. I can't remember what it was called. It was just god awful though. It's just way out of date. No, I did not graduate digitally. Yeah, I remember when COVID hit, and it did just screw everything up so badly, though. That just screwed everything up so bad. The area where I live, luckily wasn't hit as bad as other areas, and so our lockdowns were lightened up pretty quickly because it's out in a more rural area. But I remember when I had to go to the city one time during the lockdowns, it was terrifying. It was like a zombie apocalypse movie. I saw like maybe 2 or 3 other people in the Walmart superstore because I ended up having to go up into the Walmart superstore to get a bunch of stuff, a bunch of supplies that were running low on. And there was like 2 cars in the parking lot, 3 people in the store, and it was just like the creepiest, most eerie feeling on earth. I do not miss those COVID days at all. But I'm glad, it's nice that they brought about the model railroading hobby for me again, though, because I don't know if I would have rejoined the hobby. Actually, I probably would have rejoined it, let's be honest. But it cemented the return of the hobby for me a lot faster than Save It didn't, because, I had nothing to do during the lockdowns for I think it lasted like a year or so here, but things never really got back to being the same until like 2023 and 24, because he still had all the mask and 6-foot spaces stuff going on until like 22 or 23 up here. Not a fun time. I think it's time to change the camera on this. Where should I put it? Let's go back to where 19's sitting. Actually, no, we'll put it on the road right here. I don't think I've ever even had the camera right here before by the stagecoach. There we go. I've never had the camera here, I don't think. This is a new spot for me. We got the stagecoach front and center. Oh, I've seen that cab forward before. I think someone had like a model of that for sale on eBay, or at least a kit for like a 440 cab forward. I think that's what you're referencing. That's a pretty interesting prototype. I think it's time we give Jupiter a break. I'm going to get another locomotive out. Should I run Rio Grande Southern 20 or Virginia and Truckee 29? I think, yeah, it's going to be between those two because I haven't run them in ages. Yeah, Virginia and Truckee 29 and Rio Grande Southern 20. I'll let chat pick what engine runs next. Number 29. Alright, I'll have to get Jupiter on the siding here, and then I'll get number 29 running. Should we have the Virginia and Truckee pull a passenger train, or should it pull a freight train or a mixed train? Because I have enough coaches and freight cars to do either a freight, a passenger, or a mixed train. Mixed train? Alright, we'll get a mixed train set up. This will take 1 second. I gotta get all the cars off my shelf. I need to start building new shelving for all my freight cars and passenger cars because I have one table. I'll show it off real quick. I have one table back here, or shelf. It was meant to originally be a small switching layout, and it has since become just a dumping grounds for all my excess cars because I have like nowhere else to put any of that stuff. I need to respace my shelf so I can fit a few more in to fit those cars, as this is kind of getting out of control with the overflow of cars that I have at the moment. We're going to put ventilated boxcar. Do this hopper car, and I'll do my 47-foot passenger car with it. I never run this one. Come on, hook on. There we go. I'll run a passenger train after this mixed chain. And hello there, Strasburg. And yeah, I've been keeping an eye on the Big Boy 4014 tour. I think they're going all the way to the East Coast with that, as far as I remember. Just right now, they're in West Chicago. What engine was I running? 29. There we go. I gotta throw that point because I don't want to run into a point set against it. Had enough short circuits on this layout as is. Let me try and redo this so we can see more of the track and less of the buildings in the way. I think this is a pretty decent view. It's different from most of them that I do. I absolutely love 5 chimes. I think 5 chimes are my favorite type of whistles. They just have that perfect harmony sound to all the chimes going at once to me. They're not too deep and not too high pitched either. Well, it looks like the thing didn't properly. That's cool. Are you going to go see the big boy locomotive, Strasburg? I got to move my camera again somewhere where I have a better view. Here, I think this will be a decent view. We'll see how this goes. Oops, Arthur Morgan fell over. Didn't mean to knock you over, Mr. Morgan. Oh, that's cool. I probably won't be able to see the big boy locomotive. I just don't have the time to really go downstate for that. Why won't it focus? Come on, focus on the train. We don't want to see a tree. There we go. This camera is not being cooperative today, is it? Yeah, focusing on the tree. It's kind of starting to annoy me now. I think we'll have to put it right here again just to see the train again without other stuff confusing the camera focus. Oh, I had it right the first time. I think I'm going to turn the headlight down a bit. There we go. Yeah, I can hear a bit of a Reading 6 chime. I think the whistle is currently set to Boston and Maine 5 chime. I think that's what's on the 29 at the moment, because that's the closest I could find on the decoder. That sounds like the actual V&T 29's whistle. I love how Athearn has been doing all these old-time engines lately. They just look beautiful, like the paint work and all the livery variants they've been doing with these 280s and 260s. And they had a range of 440s that were supposed to be made, but they ended up canceling all that because I guess they didn't have enough pre-orders to justify them producing it. So it's sad. But it would have just been the same thing as all the 280s and 260s anyway, except it's a 440. But I'm really glad they've been doing these waves of old-time engines again, because these things are built like a rock. These are like the most sturdy, reliable locomotives I've ever owned. They're just excellent pullers. I think they have traction tires, which is in some cases a detriment, but this has enough drive wheels and tender wheel pickup to where it doesn't ever have any issues, even with dirty spots on my track. I've never had issues with these cutting out and losing power. So these are just fantastic engines, and if anybody's watching this right now and has ever been considering getting one of these Athearn 280s or Moguls, I definitely recommend getting one. especially if you can get one on sale, like on, I think Train World has them on sale for $199 with sound. I'd have to double check to make sure that that was the sound version that I saw on sale at $199, but I'm pretty sure they have the sound versions on sale at Train World right now. Christian, I didn't see your message. It's just message retracted. Sorry if I missed a comment. Santa Fe 6 chimes are pretty good whistles. That's the whistle I'm planning to use on my Red Dead 460. Because I'm going with the Tsunami decoder after all. And when Red Oak gets around to that, I think I'm going to have him program the Santa Fe 6 chime on that locomotive, because that sounds very, very close to the whistle from the video game. And hello there, Anthony. Alright, I think it's time to get going with this 280 mix train. It's been at the station long enough picking up passengers. Oh yeah, and these things are fantastic smooth runners too. They have a really good crawl on them. I definitely recommend anyone watching this, if they ever wanted to pick up one of these 280s or 260s Athearn makes, I can definitely recommend them. Never given me any trouble. We can focus on 119 while the 29 does its laps. This does not want to stay focused today, does it? It does kind of sound like Nevada Northern 40s. It sounds a little bit like Strasbourg 90s as well. Probably going to be the bell I use on the Red Dead engine too. Sounds fairly close to it. I have not seen that short video. I can check it out after the stream, though. Yeah, they're making really good progress with the T1 Trust. I think they have most of the drive wheels fabricated. I think the boiler has been fabricated for the most part. They found like the last large Pennsylvania Railroad tender in existence that they're going to restore for it. I think they have to work on the frame. I think the cab is even done too, so I think it's probably like the frame seems to be like the next big step for that T1 Trust project. Yes, Anthony, this is a Bachmann 119. However, I have done a bunch of modifications to it to make it look a bit more accurate to the Union Pacific, the actual Union Pacific replica 119. If I can pull it forward ahead, you can probably get it. I can probably get it in focus better if you want to see it more. It might be giving me a bit of trouble to move it though, because the wheels are super dirty at the moment, and I have to clean the wheels on this thing again. Yeah, the wheels are really dirty. I got to clean it again. Come on. There we go. Yeah, I did quite a bit of customization with this. I used a technique that Red Oak made a video on to stain that wood cab, and it came out just fantastic. I repainted the tender wheels, which actually, it turns out, once number 29 gets out of the way. Anyway, I put pinstripes on the tender wheels. I guess that turned out to be a... what is that called? A Mandela effect. I thought that there was pinstripes on the tender wheel on the prototype, but there wasn't, so I got to repaint those tender wheels. But I put pinstripes on the wheels. I put a new brass bell on there to replace that god-awful crude one Bachmann has. I replaced the smokestack with... So this is interesting. The old tender drive Bachmann 119 had an accurate smokestack to the 119. And then when they retooled the 440, for some reason... the smokestack, they changed the stack, and now the new one is technically inaccurate to the old 119. So I used the old Tender Drive 440 stack, repainted it. I put the mural paintings on the tender and sand domes, and I think that's it. Yeah, I repainted. I did the pinstripes, wheels, mural paintings, tab staining, and bell, new stack. Pretty straightforward, simple modification that just makes the stock Bachmann 119 look so much better. And I don't know if you were here for the stream earlier, but I was running my custom Jupiter too, if you'd like to see it. I'll move the camera so you can look at the Jupiter real quick. I have to redo the boiler's finish because it's a bit of a satin finish and it should be glossy. But I tried to replicate Russia iron. It's not as shiny as it should be, so hopefully once I can get some new gloss finish, I can get it looking a lot better. But very similar to the 119. I added the red paint to the headlight that was missing. I added a new steam dome and whistle off of a Tyco 460 and a brass part because the old dome was an inaccurate Baldwin style one. New brass, what is that, check valve and water pump down there. I repainted the cylinders a bit. I took off these manufacturer's nameplates that were on the standard Bachmann 440 because Schenectady didn't have those on the Jupiter. Repainted the tender trucks and wheels. And I'm planning to replace this with an actual wood load at some point. I just have to get around to it. I'm being super lazy again. Oh, and I put a driver in there too. Yeah, there's the Jupiter though. Yeah, I thought they were working on T1's frame right now. That seems to be like the last big hurdle for the T1 Trust. I think they're supposed to be done by like, what, 2030 or so? You fixed the dead. That's good, Dalton. Was this number 7 stalling out really bad on that dead spot, or was it like a whole block of the layout that was dead? Wiring these layouts is always so annoying. Yeah, if you use it, it would be really cool for you to make a diorama with those two engines with just a little bit of repainting and adding some new brass parts. The Bachmann 440s make really good stand-ins for the Jupiter and 119, and they're a lot more cheaper than the than the brass ones that are out there. And I've seen those brass ones go for like $1,000 before, which is just nuts. Yeah, that era of railroading from the 1830s is really underrepresented. I honestly was almost on the verge of buying the, what was that one? The Lafayette, the B&O Lafayette. I think that was a 420. And it's a really cool era to model, and it's just super underrepresented. I see that Rapido and Hornby have been making more models for the European period of that time. I think it's called Era 1 over there. But Bachmann still has a few American models from that time period, but a lot of them are from like the 80s and 90s and leave a lot to be desired. I think they're retooling one of them. Might be the John Bull. It was either John Bull or Lafayette that they're retooling currently for a new set. I'll look forward to seeing how that turns out. If it's a smooth runner, I might pick up the new set, but we'll have to see. It's a really cool arrow, though. I'd love to see more people modeling those smaller steamers like the, I've never seen anyone make one. It'd be sweet to see like a grasshopper, those little, I don't even think you can call them 040s. They're like those things that the B&O had in the 1830s. Those things were sweet, too. But those would be super intricate to model, though, especially in like HO scale. You'd have to do that in like O scale. At least. Yeah, they have a ton of Baldwin stuff. Bachmann's 440 was a Baldwin 440, the old time ones. The modern ones were Baldwin in Richmond. Both of their 460s were both Baldwin. Their 280 is Baldwin. All their 0-30 stuff, except for like the logging engines and the Porter, were all Baldwin. All the G scales, the O scale 460 is Baldwin, and the G scale stuff was all Baldwin. I never realized how much of Baldwin they had. But then again, I think their U.S. headquarters are like based out of Philadelphia, which is like where Baldwin was headquartered and manufactured their stuff too. So I guess that would kind of make sense why they're a bit partial to Baldwin. Yeah, it sucks when entire blocks go out like that. That entire siding I mentioned earlier, the whole siding went out on me when an engine would hit a certain point. It was just so annoying having to fix that. But it's one of those necessary evils. You got to deal with the gremlins of track wiring if you want to have a properly running layout. So, no, what's going on with the Norfolk and Western 611? Yeah, the Tweed C460. I used to have that variant. It wasn't number 12. It was the East Tennessee and Western North Carolina number 14. It was pretty much the same thing as number 12 that runs at on the Tweed C now. Just a different number. I might actually still have photos. I might have to go and look around to see if I have photos from my old ON30 layout on my old phone's camera. Because I had a ton of them saved. I'll have to look into that, and maybe I'll post them when I find them. Because I had a few custom engines. I re-customized one of them, one of those Broadway 280s to be an old wood burner. I thought that came out pretty decent. At the time, anyway. Yeah, I wish they would bring back more G-scale stuff. Bachmann had a ton of G-scale stuff. They had, I think, the C16 or the C19. I'm always mixing those two up with who makes which ones. But they had one of those 280s. They had, I think, a K27 at one point. Bachmann had like a K27. And they had a... What else did they had? I think they had an outside frame 280 at one point. They had the Eureka from the Eureka and Palisade. They still have the Glenbrook, which I almost impulse bought this spring, but then I realized I'd be blowing like $700 on a G-scale engine with nowhere to run it because I have no space inside to run G-scale, and I really don't want to blow all the money of getting into G-scale outdoors because I just don't really have the money for it now, and I know it would be a ton of money to build a garden railroad just to run the Glenbrook. So unfortunately I had to pass on it. I'm just focusing on HO scale now, really. I have some Lionel stuff that I picked up recently, but those are like, I'm not building a layout for my Lionel O-gauge stuff. I just set up a loop on the dining room table sometimes and watch the General or the 080 or my Wanderer from MTH run around for a bit, and then I put them back in their boxes and put them back in storage till I want to run O-gauge again. Steam turbines are pretty sweet too. That'd be sweet if I wish a lot more engines made it into preservation, but they just weren't thinking of preservation aspects for most engines in the 40s and 50s when they were dieselizing fleets. I'm glad that what engines were preserved ended up getting preserved though. And I'm glad to see how many restorations are currently undergoing work right now as well. There's a ton of engines re-entering tourist service and operational status again. I really would love to see Sierra 34 re-enter service. That would be sweet. I think Railtown owns Sierra 34, which is a Baldwin Mikado. I think it's like the heaviest locomotive they own besides the giant articulated number 38. I think 38 is still in existence too. I just don't think it's running at the moment. But 34 finally, a couple of years ago, got put back into ownership of Railtown 1897. They recently just did the whole rebuild with an inspection with Sierra 3, so I highly doubt they will rebuild 38 or 34 for a very long time. But if they ever get the money for restoration of number 34, that would be sick. It'd be sick to have 3 Sierra engines running again. Yeah, the K27 is super rare. I almost never see those come up on eBay anymore. And when they do, they're well over $1,000 now. What do you mean about Jupiter smokestacks, Prosper? Could you elaborate a bit more on what you mean, please? Yeah, I've only seen them make the 460, which is a shame. Their 0-30 line and their O-scale Williams line, their 0-30 line, and their G-scale lines are kind of in shambles now. They're kind of just, I guess they thought they probably had low sales on that stuff, and they figured they had to cut dead weight to focus on their more popular N-scale and HO lineups, which is sad, but I understand it though. It'd be nice to see them make a return of some products like the Shea and HO scale is coming back. I pre-ordered the red one, the Pickering Lumber Corporation number 12. That one looks sweet. That used to be Sierra Railway number 12. I didn't know that until after I pre-ordered it, because I pre-ordered it almost entirely based off the fact that it was painted red, and I thought a red Shea would be sweet to run on this layout. But I ended up doing a bit of a deep dive on it, and yeah, it was built for the Sierra Railway as their number 12, and was sold to the Pickering Company. So that's a really cool little thing I found out the other day. This is HO scale. And it was nice seeing you, Andy. Hope you have a good evening. And thank you, Mr. C Railway. I spent quite a while on this layout, and it's still definitely by no means done. I'd like to get static grass on here, and I have to light up all the buildings. Whenever I have the money for it, I'm going to get the Woodland Scenics Just Plug lighting system to light up my town. And then I saw they recently made a sound effect system, like the lighting system, for ambient sounds that I'm probably going to end up buying too. That's a really cool idea. I was actually thinking of doing that before they announced that. I was going to buy some little small Bluetooth speakers and put ambient sounds across the layout. Like I was going to put a saloon piano and crowd sounds in the saloon and gunfight sounds in the middle of the street area, and church bell and church congregation sounds by the church, and so on and so forth. And the Woodland Scenics is now making it, so now I can finally get ambient sounds on the layout too whenever they put those products up for sale. It's a really cool idea. I hope whoever came up with that idea got a raise, because it was a really good idea. Yeah, I could see I could spend $1,500 on those G-scale engines. Bachmann really needs to do like another. I'm sure they still have the tooling for that stuff, so there's really no reason for them not to do like limited waves of releases of those engines to run. I know. I feel like the Eureka, if they redid the Eureka run again, they would probably sell really well, because 19th century in general railroading has been just picking up a lot of steam. Bachmann has been getting a lot of really good feedback on the N-scale 460, which hopefully that'll carry over into them making that 460 and HO scale. But yeah, 19th century and smaller steam engines in general, there's really a void in the market for them. And I would love to see more small steam in every scale, really. Because there's just not a lot. Bachmann and Athearn are like the only manufacturers that make multiple small steam locomotives. I think the smallest locomotive Broadway made was like a Pennsylvania B6 switcher. I think that's what it was, an 060 Pennsy B6 switcher, which is a nice engine, but I don't run Pennsylvania on this layout, so it's not for me. I'd like to see them make more like generic locomotives like Athearn's 280s. Because you can customize those. Those are a great starting point for customizing. Yeah, I wish a lot more engines got preserved. It's a shame how many engines got scrapped, but uh, it was kind of it was bound to happen once the railroads began dieselization. Steam engines are beautiful locomotives, don't get me wrong. I vastly prefer them to diesels, but from an economic and business standpoint, diesels are the way to go, unfortunately, just because they're so much less labor intensive. They're much more fuel efficient, and the parts for repairing them are just so much easier to source and fabricate and to repair the engines themselves. Steam locomotives just took so much maintenance and labor to keep them in good shape. I have a lot of respect for the tourist railroads that run them still, because that is a quite a skill to have for a crew to be able to keep steam engines running in good shape. And luckily, it hasn't become a lost art of maintaining steam locomotives. Hopefully, that'll continue on to be a thing for the next few generations. We'll still have steam engines running, knowledge being passed down to the younger generations of steam locomotive operation and maintenance and repairs. Yeah, they're talking about the brass. They think is going to lose its market value within the next decade or so. Brass locomotives in general, because of 3D printing. People can easily produce their own models, and brass won't really be needed anymore for specific prototypes that were previously only available in brass, because people can make more accurate and more smooth running, reliable locomotives through kit bashing with 3D printing and making their own mechanisms and frames, and having to rely on ancient tooling. Oh yeah, 683 is the last Rio Grande standard gauge, which is shocking. I would have thought they'd have preserved more of their standard gauge fleet, but 683 is a pretty neat little 280. Athearn, I pre-ordered. Well, Athearn is releasing 683. They have pre-orders available for it now. Hopefully there's enough pre-orders and they'll actually follow through with this wave and make the 683. But they're making it with both a DC silent version and DCC sound and HO scale. So I'll look forward to that if they actually make it. I like the green boiler that those Rio Grande engines had. I wish more of the preserved Rio Grande engines would have the green boiler jacketing. Oh, that's cool. I really want to visit those railroad museums in California. There's a bunch of them, especially the California State Railroad Museum. I want to see all those old-time Virginia and Truckee stuff that they have there, especially the, the Genoa, I think they have there. They have, like, the Genoa, I think the Dayton might be there. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the Genoa, Dayton, and maybe the J.W. Bowker are all back there finally after the trade that they had with the Nevada State Railroad Museum. I think is finally up, so they should have all those VNT engines back in California now. That'd be sweet to visit that one in particular. And Railtown. I really want to visit Railtown too. Yeah, I can see how the brass is dropping off now too, because from what I understand, it is really hard to get DCC sound in those things. I actually I'm sending Red Oak my brass 999 that a viewer sent me, who was just in chat earlier. Thanks again for selling me that if you're still in the chat, Lord Vader. But yeah, I'm sending Red Oak Trains my 999 engine because he's really good with upgrading stuff like that. So hopefully the brass 999 won't be super annoying for him to deal with, because it sounds like he's already got a bit of experience with brass engines. So hopefully that won't be an annoying project for him. Then I have a Sierra Railway 280 that I sent out to a feller out who actually lives out, I think, in Tuolumne County, out by Railtown, and he's going to rebuild that for me into Sierra Railway 28, and it sounds like it's going to be an extensive rebuild. It's definitely not a cheap project, but it's going to be well worth it to have a proper model of Sierra Railway 28 with DCC sound in it when he's finished with it. I really look forward to having number 28 in my collection. Yeah, I definitely want to visit that railroad museum in Sacramento. It sounds just so cool. They have the Southern Pacific Huntington locomotive there too. I'd love to see that little 424T as well. It's such a goofy little engine the Central Pacific had. Oh, that's cool. Do you, Anthony, I assume you probably have met Heist then, if you volunteered there? That's pretty cool. 491 is a pretty sweet engine, too. I think that's the one that had that Herald scheme, right? The green boiler. Yeah, it had to have been 491 because it wasn't the one in Durango. Well, what's the one in Durango? 493 or 497? I can't remember which. But yeah, I think it had to be the one in the museum that had the green boiler jacketing. I remember there was like a big uproar over that when they did that too. There's like a bunch of people arguing Rio Grande didn't have green boilers, blah, whatever. I honestly really didn't care because I thought it looked fantastic with that boiler. Oh, those are cool names for your passenger trains. I run holiday Christmas trains too sometimes. I'll get like what engine did I use last? Oh, I used the Wanderer I think last year as my Christmas train that I ran on Christmas Day because it was red and green. I see Bachmann has an old time 440 that's like a specific Christmas engine now. I think it's called the Yuletide Central or something. I don't remember what exactly they had it named, but they have a Christmas old time 440 like the Jupiter that's coming out this year. That would be cool to pick up if I can get my hands on one. And they have like passenger cars that are like what was it? Like one was like the first car was called Partridge, and the second one was like two turtle doves or something. It was hilarious. They're doing that one song, but yeah, it'd be sweet to have that 440, that old time Christmas train set. I actually have one right here. It's not in running condition anymore. But this is like the old tooling tender drive Christmas train set 440 that Bachmann used to have, the Wintertime Express. It's seen better days. It has a wrecked pilot because I filmed a project with that and I had to sacrifice the pilot for that and smash it up a bit. But yeah, it's a neat little Christmas engine. So it'll be cool for them to have a 440 and a Christmas livery again. Oh, that's a shame. I was in Durango in January, but he must not have been there that week with the Rio Grande Southern 20 because I didn't see him in Durango. That would have been cool if I could have met him in Durango though when they were doing those excursions. I left like right before they had the 20 excursion because I had to be back in Denver like 2 days before number 20 was running, so I only got to see number 482 on the Silverton running when I was there. Yeah, those cab forwards are pretty sweet engines. Those are definitely unique engines. Somebody, I don't know if it was you mentioning it earlier there, Kevin. I think it was you, right? Or maybe it was somebody else. I'd have to go back through chat, but we were talking about cab forwards earlier, and I think it was North Pacific Coast. It was either North Pacific Coast or South Pacific Coast had a 440 cab forward, which is available in kit 0-3 or 0-30. It's really cool. You didn't see a lot of cab forwards, especially with smaller steam engines like that. Amtrak is pretty fun. I got to ride in first class in a sleeper car. I will say, I mean, it is pretty comfortable in the sleeper cars, but you're definitely going to notice when the train picks up speed and goes over switch tracks, because literally every time the train would get up to like 75 at its high ball speed. And once the train hit a switch, it would like throw you across the Amtrak train car every time. It was terrifying. Like I was woken up a few times in the middle of the night on the California Zephyr because the train would be doing like 75 or 80 and it would hit the switch tracks and it would like throw you around the car and you would think the train was about to derail or something. So That wasn't very fun. But the rest of it was fun. The dining car was super fun because they pair you up. If you don't have a full table of 4, they'll pair you up with other passengers. And I got to meet some really cool people in the dining car for dinner on that train. And they also do lunch and breakfast too, but I didn't end up getting lunch and breakfast though. Amtrak is pretty fun though. I definitely prefer it to driving, and I haven't flown in a plane before, and I never intend to either because planes just absolutely terrify me because I hate heights. I'd rather take Amtrak any day over planes. Yeah, I thought it was you, Kevin, that mentioned that. Well, good to see you back, Red Oak. Hope dinner was well. What did you end up making anyway? I ended up having a frozen pizza for dinner. I can't say it was the best pizza I've ever had, but it was food. They've really dropped the quality of frozen pizzas. I bought one for I bought a DiGiorno, and it was like half the size as the last time I bought it. Luckily, the price didn't go up horrifically. They just shrinkflated it really bad and lowered the quality of the ingredients. But yeah, next time I get pizza, it's probably just gonna be a fresh one ordered because I can't do frozen again like that. Yeah, Amtrak is that was the first time I rode it was this winter, this spring or whatever in January, winter then. It was a pretty good experience. Like I said, the people were really nice on the train. The dinner was decent in the dining car. They kind of burned my steak and it was kind of charcoal, but they ended up giving me this I don't know, it's like some sort of like bourbon sauce or something to put on it. So that kind of took away the burnt taste off of it. But still, the other food that they had looked pretty decent though on the menu. They definitely need to update some of their cars though. I think they have some cars from like the 80s in their fleet still. Like I was in the sleeping car and you could kind of tell it was pretty dated. Oh, those SD40s. I used to have one of those SD42s that Bachmann made. I think it was BNSF livery. That was a pretty reliable runner for me. It just had straight DC, but it was still a really good engine, though. That's been, well, that's a long time, actually. When did I have that? I had that like 2016, so that's like 10 years ago. Wow. I haven't had that engine in 10 years as I sold it around 2016. Time flies. I think it's about time we give number 29 a break. It's been running for like half an hour straight now. Does anybody have any recommendations for engines to run next? I have, let's see, I could run another 440. I could run the Jupiter again. I can run the York. I can run the Genoa. I can run Wanderer, or I could run Rio Grande Southern 20. I have a ton of engines I could run. If anybody has any recommendations, I'll run the locomotive you choose. I haven't run 119 yet because 119's wheels are super dirty because I haven't cleaned them in a while, and it's having issues on some of the parts of the layout. It's kind of just there for aesthetic purposes at the moment. It definitely needs its wheels cleaned. These engines are not very well known for having good electrical pickup as is, and if there's like one speck of dust on the tender wheels, you can kiss proper operations goodbye with these 440s, sadly. They really need those current keepers in them to run proper. York? Yeah, I'll have to run York. I can't run Sierra 3 at the moment. Well, technically I can, but it won't have any sound in it, though, because there's been something happened to the decoder, and it's being goofy right now, and it's got to have some work done on it. Yeah, some of the diesels, the older diesels I had from Bachmann were kind of just awful, like coffee grinder noises from the older diesels. But for the most part, the diesels I have had from them have performed decently well. I had a few of their F units before, and the SD42, and those were fine for me. But like the super old one, I used to have like this super old 80s one that was just garbage. I think it had the older style motor in it. Definitely would not recommend 80s Bachmann at all for anything. It's pretty much all crap. It wasn't until like 2010 that Bachmann started making good models outside of the Spectrum line. I mean, the Spectrum line has always been really good, aside from the shade with the gear issues. But yeah, outside of their Spectrum stuff, they didn't get very good until like 2010 or so. Yeah, I'll have to check out the Great Locomotive Chase video, Robert. I actually, I almost bought the B&O Lafayette that Bachmann makes because of the that movie, because they had the Lafayette playing the Yona, and I kind of wanted to have that engine and re-letter it as Yona, but it's not really worth it, though. I saw somebody DCC sounded one of those, and it turns out they didn't even have to put the sound into a passenger coach. They somehow managed to fit DCC and sound into that thing. I don't know how they did it, but I'll have to find that video and share it to my community page, because that was just amazing. And oh, hey there, Lord Vader. Lord Vader, I'm gonna run what was it? I'm gonna run the Northern Central York, and then I'll run that 060 that I'm sending you. Where is the York hiding? Right here. I'll see if I can get 119 to run reliably real quick, actually. I might be able to get it to run fairly decently if I just avoid low speeds. Those tender wheels definitely need to be cleaned again. Oops, the camera got knocked around when I bumped into the table again. What's left? That V&T boxcar. Come here. All right. We'll move the York forward. Actually, I need to get the York's coaches. I'm honestly shocked Bachmann actually re-released their York, because they released it once, like, 5 or 6 years ago. Never would have thought they'd actually re-release it again. Hopefully they'll re-release that Virginian Truckee engine, because I know a ton of people wanted to get their hands on number 12, but they only did like one wave of that, I think, and I haven't seen them announce if they're going to do another wave of it. They should do the Inyo and the Reno, too, at some point, because they have the tooling to do all three of them. Oops, that's the wrong engine. What number is this? Number 17? Just get the engine up. Bachmann has been doing a really good job with their liveries with their new engines, I will say. Let me see if I can back this up a bit so you can see it better. But just their paint work on these newer engines is just gorgeous. It's just miles ahead of what they had been doing for the longest time. Yeah, Bachmann's new steam engine motors are really good for the most part. These 440 ones can be a bit iffy, but I found once I've broken them in, for the most part, they seem to be fine. Uh, I've only had one that was like defective out of the box, and I ended up just trading out that motor for another one from. Actually, I didn't even trade out the motor. I just swapped the mechanism on the 119 back here with my old one, and that solved it. But still, kind of not really a good thing when you spend 200 some dollars on an engine for it to be having issues out of the box, like the first or the second 119 was having. Yeah, I think they mentioned using N scale in that Lafayette model because that's the only way they could have crammed all that in without using a coach permanently coupled to it. Yeah, his Mantua Generals are just amazing. That entire Civil War layout that he has made is just mind blowing, and all that 19th century equipment that he made for it, and the engines and cars. That is just a beautiful layout, and all those engines too. Who else made one? George from Soundtracks did a fantastic kit bash. He took one of the engines. I think he took the Western Atlantic Texas or something. He took one of these Bachmann 440s that they made, and he totally overhauled that to look like the 1860s General with the extra sand dome up here, and he took this whole walkway out and replaced it with one that like sat underneath the cab and ran like that, which is just like a horrifying safety thing that I'm really glad that the manufacturers didn't carry on with past the 1860s. But yeah, he did a really good job with that one too. There's a lot of people that I've seen customize these 440s and just turn them into such absolute gems. And hello there, McFly. McFly, anybody home? I gotta rewatch those Back to the Future movies again. It's been forever since I've watched them. Yeah, the Inyo would be sweet. They've done Genoa number 12. Hopefully, we'll get the Inyo and Reno. Dayton would be cool to see too, but Dayton's a bit different. That was the one that was actually built by the Central Pacific shops. I think that, yeah, Central Pacific built their Dayton, which is pretty interesting. You can see if you look at the Dayton, it has the Central Pacific Railroad builder's crest between the drivers, like how Baldwin put the Baldwin crest between their drivers. It's really cool. I'd like to see the JW Bowker. That's like a really specific model, I know, and it probably wouldn't sell really well because it's such an oddly specific engine. But if we had a properly scaled JW Bowker 240, I would buy it in a heartbeat because that is such a sweet little locomotive that the V&T had. And there was an AHM Rivarossi one. It's just so oversized. I don't see myself getting one. It's just way too big of an engine. I saw somebody put like an HO scale engineer in the cab of it, and it still looked way too big with the HO figure. And I think it was you, Red Oak, that mentioned those were like actually S scale, closer to S scale than HO, which is understandable for the time because they had to fit a motor in that thing. But it'd be nice if we had an actual one that was properly scaled now. Yeah, that was who did the replicas? O'Connor Engineering or O'Connor Laboratories. They did the replicas of Jupiter and 119, and that sounded like it was a nightmare because I don't think they had any blueprints from Rogers or Schenectady to make those two. So they had to like base all the dimensions for those locomotives off of similar engines of the era, and then they scaled the photographs of the engines at Promontory to get the proper dimensions too. But they came out great. Yeah, the Genoa could have done better. The boiler isn't the right color either. I can't see it on the shelf right now, but they didn't do the boiler right. It's supposed to be like a Russia iron blue on the Genoa. They didn't really, that didn't translate well on the model. So hopefully, if they do like an Inyo or a Reno or Dayton, they'll do a better job. Yeah, it would be tiny. Those 240s were just super small. I've seen people standing next to them, and there's a video where they had the Victorian Roundup or whatever at the Nevada State Railroad Museum a few years ago, and there's like people standing next to it, and that engine is really tiny. And I saw another video of the tender flying off of a flatbed truck and smashing into the engine because they didn't have it hooked up right or something, or the brakes went out on the tender and just went flying off the ramp into the engine. Yeah, Bachmann has no consistency with their Russia iron. They've done it at least 4 times that I know of, and literally none of them match. It is hilarious. Yeah, like the 119. See, the 119's attempt at Russia iron is honestly it's way it's got too much of a blue hue to it. I think because isn't Russia iron supposed to be like gray? Granted, though, I guess there could be an excuse for it being blue because it's supposed to like represent the high reaction that it had with the sky, but still, I think it's a bit too blue. I might redo 119's boiler in the future, but I think it's fine for now as is until I get around to it anyway. The C&O 460 is supposed to have Russia iron. I thought that was. I didn't know they were trying Russia iron with that one. I thought that was just like they have one engine. It had like a silver boiler. I thought they were trying to replicate that. I didn't know it was supposed to be like Russia iron. I can't remember what engine had it. It was like a Texas and Pacific engine, I think. Oh, I'm thinking of a different engine entirely. Yeah, it was the Texas and Pacific one that I'm thinking of. It had like this silver boiler on it. That would have been interesting. I think they tried doing that before. Actually, no, I think they still have the Texas and Pacific one in stock. I think that's the one that I'm thinking of with the gray boiler. Yeah, the blue definitely is a bit much on the 119, but yeah, I could see how they had a bit of blue as a tint in the Russian iron, but I still think it would be like more of a gray overall, though. From what I understand of Russia iron, though, there's been a lot of debate on what Russia iron looks like or what it is. These Northern Central cars are like stupidly hard to find. It took me forever to get this set together because they're long out of production, and Bachmann, for some reason, didn't release a new wave of these cars to go with their newest York 440. So, yeah, that was real fun tracking down Northern Central cars. That's weird. I wonder why they made it gray instead of green. Bachmann has made some really questionable choices with their engine liveries over the years. I think the worst offender I've ever seen with Bachmann in their livery choices was that EMD FT that we do not talk about that had the headlight painted on. That was like the worst decision I've ever seen of them in terms of livery. I don't know why they did that. They should have either left the headlight off or used the other molded F unit shell that they have that actually has the secondary headlight on it. Like, I don't know why they did that. It just looks so bad when they tried to put the headlight on as a decal. It's just horrible. Yeah, I've seen that film about the 119 and Jupiter projects. That was really cool to see how they did those. It was interesting seeing how Ward Kimball was involved with the artwork on those two. I think who was on the 119's artwork? I think that was this side. I think the engineer side. They couldn't find any information on the engineer side because in every single photo of the engineer side, there's people standing in front of the sand dome, so they could not see who was painted on the sand dome. So they went with Jim Bridger, who I guess was like some frontiersman in the Old West. And then on the fireman side, it's Johnny Appleseed. And then the murals on the tender are like scenes along the Union Pacific route, I think. I'm not entirely sure about the tender murals, but I'm pretty sure I read they're like American frontier scenes that were like on the UP route. Yeah, they don't really look like the Northern Central cars. The Northern Central ones are like 1860 style ones to go with the engines. I think the Mantua old ones that they used to sell with the General would have been much better to pair with the Northern Central, but obviously that was Mantua and not Bachmann. So if I ever wanted actual Northern Central cars, I'd have to get a few of the Mantua ones for that. Because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the roofs on those ones at the Northern Central are like totally flat. They don't have the clerestory windows and the rounded ends or whatever on those roofs. Yeah, the C&O engine's boiler has a pretty interesting look to it with that blue. Yeah, that EMDFT is just horrible. I see that there like a lot of hobby shops are like selling those Wow Sound installed FTs Bachmann made, including the Santa Fe one, for like steep discounted prices now. Because I don't think anybody's really willing to pay more than $150 for a rather crude looking diesel locomotive. That's only difference is that it has Wow Sound in it and maybe a bit of a better motor than the older ones. But I don't know for sure if they have a new motor in it or not. It's just speculation on my end. But yeah, I certainly wouldn't spend. I wouldn't even spend $100 honestly on that model for what it is. Like it's like a train set. It's their train set EMDFT with sound in it, and not worth it to me. Yeah, his Grizzly Flats Railroad was sweet. The what did they have? They had the Emma Nevada, which was that little 260, and then they had like a little Porter. I can't remember what the Porter's name was though. It was like Chloe, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong though, but yeah, they had like the 040 or 042 Porter with the 260 Emma Nevada, and I think they're working on getting Emma Nevada back in running condition, which would be sweet to see. Yep. Yeah, I thought I saw that they were working on Emma Nevada. Yeah, it looks nice. That C&O model looks nice. I've almost bought it myself before because the boiler color is just so unique. But yeah, I definitely can't say that that's accurate to what Russia iron looks like as far as is known about Russia iron at this point in time. I think when they were doing, they found like original Russia iron color on the Reno. It might have been. It was either the Reno or the Dayton. It was one of the B&T engines. They were stripping the paint off it and redoing it, and they found like original 1870s Russia iron and original Baldwin paint colors on the engine, which was just super cool. I think it was on a heist video. I'd have to look that up again to make sure. But that was really cool that they were able to find the original colors on that at the roundup a couple of years ago. And I think they're restoring the Reno. They're fundraising for the Reno's restoration right now because it was burned up in like '95, and was left in an inoperable state. They then made it to run on air for movies after that for Wild Wild West. They blew it up again for Wild Wild West. Then the movie crew for Wild Wild West restored it again. It was used for a few other movies running on air after that, and then it just sat and, rotted away in the desert in Nevada or Arizona, and rotted away at Old Tucson until finally somebody was able to get a hold of it and bring it back to Nevada. And I would love to see the Reno at least cosmetically restored again to its former glory. I understand if they can't, get it fully running again, but it would be nice to at least have it looking not like it's a dilapidated old piece of crap, like it has been looking for the past, 20 years. Yeah, they put one of the highest end decoders in their crappiest train set model. I'm not even going to call it a model. It's like a toy. I think I actually have a Union Pacific one around here somewhere. I'm looking for it right now. I'm not seeing it. Honestly, it might have actually thrown it away because I threw away a bunch of old junk that I had laying around, and I think that might have actually gotten thrown away. I had this busted up old Union Pacific one from the 70s, and it was the biggest piece of garbage ever. It hardly ran. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, $100 will give me the decoder and then a piece of crap engine to go with it. Yeah, I thought that was Chloe. Yeah, and I saw LGB made that too. They had the little LGB made that, and then they made a Forney, and the Forney looks really cool. Yeah, and I saw the Emma Nevada too with the Glenbrook tooling. It looked really nice. I don't think they currently offer that livery, but they did recently restock those G-Scale or FN3 moguls. And they have Glenbrook back in stock along with a bunch of other ones too, which are pretty neat. If I had $700 in the space for it, I'd definitely buy one. Oh, are they trying to get... Wait. They're trying to get the Reno running again? That'd be sweet. I thought they were just going to do a cosmetic overhaul on that thing. I didn't know they were actually going to get it running again. I wonder if they're going to need a whole new boiler for that, Sierra 3, because that boiler looked shot after that fire. It looked so bad. They were not treating that thing right at Old Tucson at all. And okay, Kevin, it was nice seeing you in the stream. Hope you have a good evening. Yeah, they based that cab on the UP-119 for the movie. And then they blew up the first one, and then they made another one that I guess was also based on the 119s as well for it. And hey there, Joel. How are you doing? Oh, and Red Oak, congratulations on getting 5,000 subscribers, by the way. I just finally saw that. I didn't know that you had already hit the 5,000 mark when you had sent me that email, so congratulations. All right, Lord Vader, if you're still in the stream, I'm going to run that 080 or that 060, the Union Pacific 060 that I'm trading you. I'm going to give the York a break. Where's that 060 hiding at? Up here. Where did I store those cars? Up here. What do I want to run? See if Lord Vader is still in chat. All right, Lord Vader, I'm going to set up those cars that you said that you're going to accept in the trade as well. Let me see if I can find them, because I think I put some of those in boxes already. Where are those cars at? I'll run the Grand Canyon boxcar and the Pensy boxcar, and I'll put a UP caboose on it. Boxcar. You know what? I'll put a gondola on it too, just so we have a bit of an extra diversity of cars here to run. Where's that Union Pacific caboose item? There you are. Here we go. Oh, that would be so cursed. That'd be so cursed if I put 1870s livery on a UP big boy locomotive. I've seen them do that already with one of the, I think it was their Bull Mooses, their 2880 articulated. I think they put like a UP 119 livery on that. Broadway did. And it's like the most ugliest cursed thing I've ever seen in my life. Lord Vader, the whistle on this is the stock whistle that was pre-programmed down the locomotive when I bought it. It was, I think this is a Baldwin 3 chime. This is kind of their go-to whistle, honestly, this, the Baldwin 3 chime. Yeah, I was trying to figure out the best whistle for a Union Pacific 060 with this one too. I think I had I think there was a Hancock one on here that I was running for a while. That would probably be more accurate to this Baldwin one, but I'm not sure what NYC would have. Yeah, they did a really good job retooling these. What did they do? They gave it a whole new tender. They redid the cab windows here. The cab windows look just 10 times better. That bell is new. The stack is new. The whole smoke box has been redone without that god-awful smoke unit. You know, speaking of those smoke units, I used to... the first train set I ever got was the Chattanooga one that Bachman made. And that smoke unit literally melted the stack on mine. It burned a hole into the stack of it. And I remember I think I cut the stack off and replaced it with like a diamond stack. And then I ended up selling it because I got sick of it. That thing was just, it ran fine, but those smoke units in the old 060s are just garbage. They don't even look good anyway. You have to run them at like top speed to get smoke to come out. And even then it's like a little wisp of smoke that comes out of it. It's just not worth it. I don't think I've ever come across a reliable brass running a reliable running brass engine. The Sierra 28 that I just sent to that fella out in California to work on, That didn't even run. I actually got that discounted. I won it in an auction, or no, I didn't win it in an auction. I put in an offer and won. I got the offer on eBay, and then the guy tested it. And he's like, "Oh, the train's not running anymore, so we're gonna give you a discount." And I only ended up paying what, like $100 for it, which I guess is pretty good price for even though it was non-running. It was a really hard to find brass Sierra Railway engine, so I was glad I only had to pay $100 for it. And yeah, that one didn't run. I had a Hallmark 460 that ran, but it wasn't the best. And then the 999, I haven't tested. Oh no, I think Lord Vader, you said something about it. I think I tried testing it before work on DC power, and then I don't know if it ran or not. I don't think it ran. Because you mentioned that it had something going on with like a decoder that somebody had installed before it or something. I don't remember what you said about that 440. But hopefully Red Oak can get that thing running really well, though, once he gets a hold of it. I still have to tear that whole thing apart and repaint it first, though. That would be hilarious if you had an army of McLeod 25s. Yeah, those smoke units in the old Bachmann train set 060s are junk. I just don't see the appeal in them. I'm glad they just totally omitted that with this new 060. Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember you had mentioned something, Lord Vader, about because you had sent pictures of the wiring and whatnot of the model, and I couldn't remember what you had said about it. If it was like running ready to go right now, or like what was going on with the wiring. But I look forward to having that model finished whenever that happens, because like I said, I'm going to take forever to get around to repainting this thing. I got to practice with an airbrush whenever I buy the airbrush. So yeah, that's going to take forever. Anyway, let's get the engine going though. Oh, and Lord Vader, here's the Penske box car, and here's the Santa Fe box car that I'm sending you. That would be cool. I saw that Lionel has whistle steam. Dynamo steam would be sweet too. I've seen somebody in HO scale made a mechanism to ring the bell. And I was just like, my jaw hit the floor when I saw that. I couldn't believe somebody got that small of a mechanism to work, to have the bell cord pull the bell back and forth. That was just sweet. I don't even want to know how much work that took, though. Oh, I accidentally turned the headlight off. Oops. The bells will be ringing, literally, when they can get around to making engines that are capable of that in HO. The bells will be ringing. Somebody was able to make working cylinder cocks on a 00 gauge model. I've seen live steam in 00 gauge. I don't want to know how annoying that would be to run them in such because they're such small engines. But it's cool if they got live steam in a model that small, though. It'd be cool to have at least one live steam like G scale locomotive someday. Those are very expensive, and honestly, I don't know if I'd even be able to properly maintain it. I'm gonna be all that honest. I'm not super knowledgeable with the operation and maintenance of actual steam locomotives, sadly to say. That is sweet. Markland has always been, as far as I'm aware, like the creme de la creme of the train world. Like, I think Markland was the one who made like the $10,000 Jupiter and 119 G scale locomotives, and those looked just gorgeous. However, I'm not prepared to spend that amount on. I could buy like an entire new car for that price. Well, not brand new car, but like a decently used one at a dealership. As the same price of two G scale 440s. I'm not willing to part 10 grand on two models. Unless it was 10 each, then I'm definitely not spending 20 grand on two. Yeah, they make some really nice stuff. They've made a ton of American stuff too. Well, not a ton of American stuff, but they've made some really nice American stuff though. Let's pick up the speed a bit, shall we? I think I'm going to run 119 and then I'll end the stream after one more lap of this switcher. Because it's about to hit 2 hours. I think 2 hours is about as much time as I want to put into a stream today. So I want to get some work done on a couple of models before I go to bed. Yeah, Red Oak, the stream is probably going to be ending in like 10 minutes or so. So if I don't see you back in time, it was nice seeing you in the stream though. I'm not sure if Alco made or if Markland made a PA. All I remember distinctly of Markland making were those Jupiter 119 replicas. Mostly because of the prices of them. I just remember looking at those and just like, wow. Yeah, thanks, Red Oak. Hope you have a good evening. Hopefully I'll have a stream again next week at some point. We'll see how it goes. Either Railroads Online or models again. Or maybe we'll try that Wonders of Sodor game too. See how that goes. See if I get mad at the mechanics of that game again. Because I seem to remember almost rage quitting that game last time because of Diesel. I should have made a clip of that. I might have to go back and see if I can make a clip of that, me getting mad at Diesel. Because I was legitimately, like, I was not acting when I was getting mad at Diesel during that stream. Like, that game was so buggy. It was, like, literally making me mad. Oh, they did make it? Alright, I'm going to take the UP switcher off, and we're going to see if we can get 119 to run reliably. Then we're going to end the stream. I need to go get a drink as well, and I just finished the last of my Powerade. We'll put the 060 right here next to 999. Yeah, I wish they would add more engines to that game. It's kind of lacking as is. They need to put more locomotives in that game. These two need to go over here so I can put them in the shipping box. Oh, I don't know if anybody's interested in like old technology. I might as well show this off. I was going to make a video on it. It's not train related, but pardon the mess. I have 5,000 things going on back here in boxes, but I have this old record player I'm selling to a coworker tomorrow. I might release a video about it right before I get rid of it, but I always had a thing for old antique technology like that, and that one's from like 1914 or so, I think. Anyways, I got to get the track cleared so we can run 119 and end the stream. We'll put you here, put you here. I have to switch all the points for 119 to run on. I think you mentioned, was that you that mentioned that before, Strasburg? Or did somebody else also have a railroad lantern? Because I have one that's, I'm always forgetting, I'm mixing the two road names up. I think I have one that was either Rock Island or New Haven. I can't remember which railroad it was, but I have one of the two railroads lanterns outside. I'm always mixing up Rock Island and New Haven for some reason. Hello there, Richie. Been a while since I've seen you on stream. Then again, it's been ages since I've actually done a stream, so hope you're doing well. And okay, Joel, the stream might be over by the time you get back, though, so if that's the case, I hope you have a good evening. Yeah, I thought you had mentioned it before, Strasburg. Yeah, I really need to get 119's wheels cleaned up. That actually might be what I do after I finish the stream before I work on models again or other projects. Some of the pinstriping's already peeling off. I have to repaint the tender wheels, and the wheels themselves need to be cleaned because they keep stalling out on me. That's my least favorite thing about model trains is the track and the wheels. You got to keep both of them clean or else you have trouble every time. Oh, that's cool. Newspapers from 1859 and 1862. That is sweet. I don't think I have any newspapers like that. I think the oldest one we have is from like 1982 or something. Oh, how's the new Dreyfuss Hudson? I saw that they had finally gotten those in stock, and those look really cool. If I had room for larger engines, I would definitely consider picking that up along with a K4, but my layout just cannot handle large Hudsons and Pacifics like that. It barely could handle the 210 and the little Astra Pacific that I used to have, and currently can barely handle the Astra Mikado, the Durango Mikado that I got. Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, I look forward to seeing that Hudson. I'll have to keep an eye out for those YouTube shorts of yours that you're going to upload them onto. The Love of Steam train, that's sweet. Yeah, I personally haven't had too much of an issue with most of those cheap Bachmann couplers, but I definitely prefer upgrading those to like KD's or KD has some really good coupler choices, and there's another company that I have a couple of cars that have like like almost hyper realistic knuckle couplers on them, but they're like kind of a pain to uncouple them. I can't remember who made them, but Katie's are probably definitely, actually, now that I think about it, the best coupler you can get to replace the stock Bachmann ones. The knuckle couplers that really annoy me are Atherns, because I have a nightmare time trying to couple those Athearn ones together, because they like make narrow couplers on those Athearn ones for some reason, and they're like really hard to couple. And they're like straight up impossible to couple if there's even a slight curve at all on any track. And I usually have to like manually push the cars into the locomotive, because with those Athearn couplers, for some reason, just the force of the engine backing up and hitting the car's coupler isn't enough to actually couple them together. Yeah, I think I could probably recommend the old-time Bachmann 440 for the most part. You just have to be careful with them. Some of them kind of run like crap out of the box. I've had two of them that run like crap out of the box. But after breaking them in, they were fine. Actually, no, one of them, this one that's running right now, this 119 is the second 119 I've owned. I bought it to replace my old one, and the motor was junk, like right out of the box. Or actually, it wasn't even the motor. The motor was fine. It was the gearing on it. The gearing was all screwed up and wouldn't run right. It, like, kept like jumping like every fourth wheel. Or so when the engine would do a full wheel revolution, by the time the wheel got up on the engineer's side, the rods, it would like jump really badly, because the gearing was all screwed up, and I had to like replace the entire mechanism because it was just shot out of the box. I should have just replaced it, or exchanged it, or returned it, whatever. But I ended up having the old Bachmann, the old 119 on standby, and I just replaced the mechanism, and this one runs fine now, aside from having dirty wheels at the moment where it was stalling out in a few spots. But for the most part, though, aside from those couple of problematic engines, the new tooling 440s are pretty good, and they make for really good kit bash fodder too. Kit bashed 3 of mine so far, and I think the 3, or no, 4. I've kit bashed 4 of them. Sold one of them to Lord Vader, the B&O one, and I have. Let's see, the Northern Central York is still stock as is. I think I'm going to leave that one alone, so it looks perfectly good as is. I have the Virginia and Truckee Genoa, which I might add an air brake compressor to. And then I have the Central Pacific Leviathan that's waiting for DCC sound, and I'm probably going to leave that one alone, so it's just fine as is. Yeah, coupling is super annoying. And what's really annoying is that I'll buy used stuff, and I'll have to replace the couplers on a lot of my used models that I buy, because they won't be properly heighted, and I'll have cars disconnecting in the middle of running, because they just like shift around while they're moving. Those uncouple themselves because the height is off and out of whack. So I really should go and buy a big bulk lot of underset and overset KD couplers, so I can fix those couplers as needed, so they actually all stay coupled. It's so annoying when cars uncouple because of that in the middle of running sessions. Oh, they're definitely light years ahead of the tender drive 440s. There's no arguing that. It's just some of them, there's like certain waves where they had engines that obviously weren't running very well out of the box, and they either needed to be really, really well broken in. And in the case of the one version of the 119 I had, I should have just returned it. That's the only time, that 119 was the only time that I had an actual faulty Bachmann product out of the box. But because I still had the other 119 on standby that I was planning to repaint as another engine anyway, I just swapped the mechanisms out, and it runs fine now with the new old mechanism in it. That actually, the mechanism on this 119 is the oldest DCC locomotive in my collection. This thing's mechanism. Because I bought that in like 2018, 2019. Or no, 2020 because I got back into it. No. When did I get? I got back into model railroading in 2020 with COVID. So it had to have been like 2020 then. So it's like 6 years old. Yeah, because I took a break off model railroading from like 2017, 18, and 19. So yeah, around 2020, I had bought that 119, and that mechanism has been running continuously for 6 years, and it's still handling just fine, as long as you keep the mechanism lubricated. See, what's going on with your Penn C440 again? That sounds like an issue with the gearing binding up. That's what 119 was doing. It would like bind up and jump really bad. You might have to get a new mechanism for your Penn C1. Because that sounds almost the exact same as what my 119 was doing. I don't know. Did you recently buy that from like a hobby shop? Because you might be able to return it if you did. Unless it's like an older... It's like a used, you bought it used. Because it sounds like you're going to need a new mechanism in that thing. Also, Lord Vader, have you gotten around to putting a new, or have you gotten around to the, putting a new headlight on the 1B&O one I sent you yet? Because I remember I saw the one short of it running, and I saw the headlight popped off on him. Like, oh yeah, I forgot. He's going to have to put a whole new headlight on that thing. Because that was the one thing I left out. Because once I got the $9.99 from you, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to bother with any more work on this model because it's just going to get replaced with this $9.99 now. So no, you haven't gone to it. That's unfortunate. I'm glad that the engine is running good for you though, because I ended up servicing that engine because right before I was about to send it to you, it started making a bit of a noise, but luckily the noise went away after I put some grease in the gearing. I guess I hadn't serviced that thing for months, so that's probably why I started making that noise. Oh, good to see you back, Red Oak. Yeah, I'm about to probably end the stream here in a couple minutes. We got 119 running. Shockingly, it hasn't stalled out on me yet. I was expecting it to have a few stall outs because the wheels are a bit dirty again, but it's been making it even on the switch tracks, so that's kind of a shock for me. Yeah, you're probably going to need a new mechanism for your Penn C440 if it's having those binding issues, unless Red Oak has any suggestions in regards to that. I ended up replacing my 119's mechanism, like I just said, because it was so bad. They screwed up the gearing on it so bad on that new model. It was horrible. I was so mad that I had spent $250 before they jacked all the prices up with inflation the past year. And the model was like thumping around and like binding up on not even just curves, but straightaways too, because I thought Bachmann was supposed to test run these engines a little bit at least to make sure they're in working shape before they ship them out from the factories. Mine just like had that thump, 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 thump like every fourth wheel revolution out of the full wheel rotation set. It would do a really bad thump, and if it was at slow speed, it wouldn't even start once it hit that point. So I would definitely consider either returning that to whoever you bought it from or getting a new mechanism from it, because the gearing on mine was just shot. They like messed up the molding on it. I should specify actually the old 119 or the 119 that's running now, the mechanism that it originally had, they didn't mold it properly, and the whole thing was just screwed up and wasn't running right. And I just said, whatever, I'll use the old 119's mechanism on it, so. How do the 3D printed axles hold up on the 060? Do you have like is it like a stronger material that you're using with the 3D printed axles, Richie? Yeah, I would if you bought that brand new on eBay, I would see if you bought it from a hobby shop, they'll probably take it back from you and give you a refund. If you bought it used, I would at least see if you like if it's recently. If you bought it recently, I would see if you could contact the seller and see if they would maybe give you like a reimbursement for the model not running properly. Because I've done that before. I've told sellers that the model I bought from them that I guess they probably didn't actually test it before they sold it if it was used, had issues running, and I've usually gotten like partial refunds to cover the engine not running properly. So I'd see if you could go that route. But if you already bought it ages ago, then I would probably suggest looking into just replacing the mechanism. And then Bachmann sells whole mechanisms for most of their engines on their website. So you might be able to get a mechanism for that engine on there. Oh, you had well, I'm glad that your the issue on your 440 Red Oak turned out to be easily fixable with that. Because like I don't know if you were here for me when I was mentioning the issues with my 119, but like the molding on the gearing for mine was all screwed up and it wasn't lining up properly, and there was like a weird lump of plastic was molded improperly on it, and it was like preventing it from properly turning the entire gear thing or something. Like the it was the worm gear that wasn't properly molded on it. And it was like just stalling out and thumping around the table, and it was just awful. If I didn't have the old 119 mechanism, I would have just returned it and got my money back. But since I had the old 119 mechanism still, I just reused that. And it's been running for, what, that mechanism's been running 6 years straight and still hasn't been giving me any issues. So hopefully I'll get another 6 years out of it. I thought Bachmann did a recent wave of the Penske 440s because I thought they did a new, it was like DCC ready, it didn't have sound, but I thought I saw they had some on Train World of that variant of the 440. I could be wrong though, but I could have thought I saw that because they also did another wave of their Pennsylvania old time coaches too to go with it. Yeah, most sellers on eBay are pretty reasonable. I've never really had any issues, luckily, with eBay resellers and having refunds done and stuff like that. I only ever do refunds if it's like, as like a line of like last, like it's the last thing I'll do. Like I will try to get a model working or whatnot, but if I cannot get it to work or there's issues with it, then I will refund it. But I try to save the engine as best as I can, and that's the last thing I want to do is have to refund a model, but it happens sometimes. Usually most sellers are understanding about it. Wow, 20 plus hours of runtime on one engine. Actually, I can't really say that. Actually, yeah, I think this 119 probably it's 6 years old, this mechanism, and that has to have at least 20 hours of runtime on it by now. And my Rio Grande Alco 260 has to be pretty close to that too, because that's about the same same age as that 440, and I've been running that thing nonstop since 2020 or so. Oh, there's none on Train World. They might have sold out and removed the listing then, because last time I was looking for a 440 on there, and when I bought the Jupiter that I currently have that I redid, I saw a Penske engine on there. They probably sold out and removed the listing then. But you might be able to find some on eBay. Like you said, that was new old stock, so you might find someone else with new old stock. They might take a return on that or partial refund at least. Yeah, people are like giving. Actually, no, I've seen people charging like ludicrous prices on those tender drives on eBay. I've seen some pretty good deals on them in train shows. Like shows in general, you can get really good deals on most anything. But eBay, there's people price gouging the living heck out of those tender drive Bachmann 440s. I've seen people trying to sell used ones from like the 80s for like $120. I'm like, what are you smoking? To think that these old tender drive 440s are even worth a fraction of $120. Like, it's just so stupid. Hello there, Daylight. Yeah, that year 210 is nice for me to run once in a while, but it was just too big of an engine for my layout, so I sold it. It wasn't seeing much use. I've really gotten rid of most of my large locomotives. The largest one I have now is I think IHC Mikado. Yeah, it's an IHC brand. It's a Mikado Astra one. That one looks a little bit goofy on my 18-inch radius curves, but it'll still make them though. Anything larger than that definitely will not work on my layout. Okay, Richie, I hope you have a good evening, and thanks for joining the stream. I'm about to wrap up the stream, so you probably won't see much more of it tonight, but it was nice seeing you in chat again, though. I hope you have a good night. Yeah, I've never really got one that was a smooth runner at all. Mine always had issues with them, those tender drives. They're not worth anywhere near $120. I at most pay somebody $30 or $40 at most, and it has to be in like pristine condition for me to spend $40 on a tender drive 440. Anything over 50 is just a ripoff. Yeah, 25 is pretty much what those things are worth, especially the 80s ones now. The like the pure red Jupiters and the older 119s. I wouldn't spend much any more than $25 on those super old ones. Chessie, I'm gonna wrap up stream in a few minutes, honestly. Because I'm going on about 2.5 hours now, and I'm pretty much about ready to end it and get some work done on a couple models before I go to bed for work in the morning. So, yeah. Oh, and hey, Kevin, nice to see you're back. Yeah, the Mantua Generals have been. I've seen it. It's not just like it's every model. People think of a model as vintage from like the 70s, that it's worth automatically a ton of money when they're not. And it's just so frustrating. And then people get desperate because they want that model, and they end up paying a higher price than what they're actually worth because one eBayer sets it at an overpriced thing and it sells, and other sellers will notice that and they're like, oh, well, people are buying these at $120. I better list mine at $150, and somebody will probably buy my old tender drive 440, and then eventually somebody does, and it's just a never-ending cycle, and just sucks. I feel bad for the people that end up spending that much money on those engines like that, not really knowing that they're getting ripped off for the most part. No, I don't have Sierra 8 anymore either. I sold that one to a feller out in Nevada. So it's almost pretty much home for that engine. Actually, that engine is pretty much home because the Sierra 8 actually resides in Nevada now itself at the Nevada State Railroad Museum. And yeah, the Sierra 8 wasn't getting ran much either. I kind of just did that one for fun because I couldn't figure out what to letter that 440 as, and then I saw a YouTube clip from the 70s of that 440 that the Sierra was housing in for a while in the 70s and 80s that they painted up as their railroad and had numbered its original 8 on it still. So I thought that would be a fun little engine, but I ended up selling it. I didn't run it much and didn't really need it. The only Sierra engines I have now are Sierra 3. I'm going to have Sierra 28 once that project is done. And technically the Pickering Shea, the red one, it was a Sierra Railway engine. I just found that out recently. That was originally built as Sierra Railway number 12. So I'll technically have 3 Sierra engines once I get that red Pickering Shea and Sierra 28 back. It was nice seeing you, Chessie. I hope you have a good evening. I think I'm going to park number 119 after this last loop and call it for an evening. So I'm pretty much done for the night running trains and live streaming. Yeah, the Union Pacific tour is pretty cool that they have going on this year too, from West Coast to East Coast. I think it's the first time the big boys ever been on the East Coast once it makes its way out there. And thank you, Daylight. Yeah, steam engines are really cool. That's primarily, actually, I only have one diesel, so steam engines are for the most part all I run. And like I'd say like well over 3/4 of them are pre-1910. So. Anyways, though, let me just get 119 fully in shot here, and I'll catch up with chat, and then I'm going to end the stream. Yeah, I wish I could see the big boy, but I'm not going to be anywhere near where the big boy's stopping this summer in time to actually see it. So, anyways, though, I think I'm going to wrap up stream now. It's pretty much just about been 2.5 hours. I was only intentionally going to do like a 30-minute to like an hour stream, and that just kind of went on from there to 2.5 hours again. Yeah, I still have that Durango and Silverton 280. Red Oak upgraded that. I think he might still be in chat as we speak. Actually, I'll show that off real quick, Red Oak, if you're still in chat. Before I end the stream, I think I told you I put the doghouse on that engine and the number plate, so I'll at least get that on the track to show the engine off. Yeah, I'll pull up the I'll get that 280 pulled up real quick, and I'm going to end the stream. Let me just get 119 out of the way. Oh, and I've said it before. I'll say it again, Red Oak. That wood stain technique you came up with was just absolutely fantastic. Thanks again for sharing that video on it, because I absolutely love how 119's cab ended up looking after doing that technique you came up with. All right, what was it? Number 473. I hope you have a good evening, Lord Vader. It's good to see you in chat. I'll get back to you on that email you sent after I end the stream as well. And it was good. Good evening as well. It was nice to see you as well, Kevin. I don't know if you can really see it because of the lighting. I might actually have to move it ahead so you can see it better. Yeah, I'm going to move it ahead so you can see it a bit better with the lighting actually facing the model real quick. Yeah, I'll get a better shot of it real quick, but I definitely think that kind of finished up the look of the model. Let me just move it past these coaches so we can actually get a good look at it. I think the chopping sound is low because TCS has like an intensity thing with their chopping, and since it's not pulling any cars and it's running light, it's not going to make much of a chopping sound. It's kind of like just like the sound of the rods and everything clanking. Anyway, I think you could probably see it a bit better now. I don't have the best lighting in this room, so my apologies for that, but there's the number plate on it. Definitely improved the front end of it. Doesn't look like the, what did you call it, Red Oak? You said it looked like the Tyco 280 before the number plate got put on. And I could definitely see that the, what was that, like the Chattanooga and Clementine sets they used to make. And then there's the doghouse on the back of the tender. Definitely improves the look of it. Makes it look a bit less Bachman-y. Now I just got to get some water slide decals so I can get the number on 482 and 473. But anyways, though, I think that just about wraps up the stream, though. I'm going to hop off now. Yep, I'll see you in the next live stream, Kevin. And I hope everyone that watches or watched tonight has a good evening. And thanks for watching. And I'll probably do another stream like either next Monday or next Thursday. It depends on what I'm doing those days. But yeah, one of those days I'll do another model stream or a video game stream. We'll see how it goes. Anyways, thanks for watching. And I hope everyone has a good night.